Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel. Check the video out because here it is, March the 1st at time of filming this video, and we're going to talk about the 5 best lures for the month of March. And in addition to the top 5 lures, we're going to talk about the technique of how to use them and the areas that you want to use them in, which is actually probably more important than the lures. So I got some good juice for you guys in today's video. And also guys, I will have all of these lures that I'm talking about today linked in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video. If you guys would like to get some of those, it's a really good way to support the channel by using that link. And also thank you everybody that's been hitting that subscribe button. We reached 140,000 subscribers this week. Really appreciate you guys supporting that. Okay, you guys have heard me. I've been talking a lot about spring fishing the last few weeks because, man, that's everybody's favorite time. And I've talked about March a lot. And the thing about March, above anything else, it's the best time of year to catch a big bass. There's probably more big bass caught in the month of March than any other time that there is out there. It's probably my favorite time to fish for big ones. And I've got the lures that I'm talking about here are big fish lures. These are the ones that are going to give you a chance to get a quality fish. So we're going to go over every one of them in today's video and sort of talk a little bit about how I like to fish them and where. Now the first one is one of my favorites. You guys that watch the channel, you hear me talking about it a lot, and that's a big spinnerbait. Guys, March is big spinnerbait month. When I'm talking about a big spinnerbait, I'm talking about one that's got a big trailer, big full skirt, large profile arm on it, and a large blade, Colorado or Will Leaf, just depending upon your water clarity. But this is probably your best chance to catch a big one in month of March, a slow rolling a big spinnerbait like this. And it just depends on your lake, the type of cover you have, whatever cover is available. If you have a grass lake, slow rolling this thing over the top of the grass beds. Traditional man-made lake, it's basically just, fishing it around whatever shallow cover that you have. It could be rocky banks, it could be, gravel banks, it could be lay down trees, around docks. They just really react to a big spinnerbait. And just fishing it slow. You want to keep this thing, throw it out there, and try to keep it about a foot off of the bottom. So based upon the angle of the bank that you're fishing, you have to adjust your rod tip angle and the speed of your retrieve to try to keep the spinnerbait going about a foot off of the bottom. That's how you're going to catch your big ones. And most of the time I'm fishing less than 8 foot deep probably with it, but really good technique, and it works in a wide range of water visibilities. If the water's dirty, it works. And if the water's clear, it also works if you have a low light day. So big spinnerbait is one of my favorites. Okay, the next one is a flat-sided crankbait. March is flat-sided crankbait month as far as numbers and quality. This is the Megabass Flap Slap here. A lot of good flat sides out there. Berkeley makes some good ones. There's a lot of good homemade ones. Megabass makes one called the Sonic Side, but the Flap Slap is my favorite one here. And this is a really good March lure for shallow cranking. So the thing about a flat-sided crankbait in March, you got to have some off-colored water. So this is a technique that's going to work in water visibilities of say less than 2.5 feet or so. Perfect water visibility, in my opinion, is like 1.5 feet to maybe 3 foot of visibility, but no more. And shallow rock is the deal. So whatever rock that you have in your lake, if you got riprap, if you got gravel banks, if you got big rock, just crank this thing over the top of the rocks. And also works really good over the top of grass beds. So all you guys that fish down south that have grass, fish this Flap Slap over it. And I usually use it with a slow pull retrieve. So I'll throw it out there and I'll reel it like that and I'll pull it like that once it gets down to its deepest part, and then start reeling it, but just use a slow medium stop and go pull retrieve with it. Okay, the next one is truly a big fish lure, and this is the one that's going to be really good once your water temperature gets in the mid 50s, and that is the big Megabass 8-inch Magdraft here. Not the 6-inch model, but this is the 8-inch model. The 8-inch model in March will get you a big bite. So first of all, you have to be on a lake that has some quality fish in it. If the lake that you have just has dinks in it, probably not that good. But all you guys that have lakes that have a decent population of bass over 3 or 4 pounds, this big 8-inch Magdraft will get you a quality bite if that water temperature is especially in the low 50s. And you want to throw this thing in and around and over deep water. So one of my favorite ways to fish it is, and it works better on a low light windy day, cloudy windy day, but get out there and fish main lake and secondary points with it. try to get it down about halfway in the water column. So say, for example, if my boat's in 15 foot of water, I'll throw it out to the bank there and just start slow cranking it, maybe let it fall a little bit. The thing falls really, really slow, and try to target sort of that 5 to 10 foot range with it. And the thing about a Magdraft, guys, is the key to catching fish on this thing is to reel it as slow as you can where the tail's still wobbling. If you reel it too fast, it's going to roll on its side, but just a nice slow retrieve, that head will start wobbling side to side like that. Definitely gets you a big fish. I usually fish it on a flipping stick with 25-pound test Seaguar and Vizex line. Okay, and the next one, you can't discount it, just an old favorite, a jerkbait. Megabass Vision 110, Edo Shiner, any type of a jerkbait. March is an excellent lure to catch them in the month of, excellent lure to catch bass in the month of March. The difference is, in the month of March with a jerkbait, I'm not fishing over deep water like I do in the wintertime. I move more shallow. So I'm throwing the jerkbait in March on the same type of places I'd fish like the spinnerbait or the flat side crankbait, actually throwing it to the bank and trying to target water less than 6 or 7 foot with it. That's the difference. And I really like to parallel steep banks with the jerkbait, really good way to catch them. If you have standing or submerged timber in the lake you're fishing, jerkbait will catch the biggest fish out of standing timber that time of year. And also obviously over shallow grass, it's really good too. And finally, guys, full-size jig. This is my Blaukat throwback jig. I definitely like the brown and orange in March with the green pumpkin trailer, Zoom big salty chunk. A brown and orange jig in the month of March is a great way to catch big ones. And I focus extensively on rock. One of my favorite way to fish a jig in the month of March is to pitch it and flip it and cast it on steep rocky banks. If you got a riprap bank that drops off fast, that's good. A bluff bank, a channel bank, anywhere where you have rock and steep bank, those crawdads are up in there. And a brown and orange jig's a great way to catch them in the month of March. So that's my favorites, guys. Those are 5 lures that I rely on heavily in the month of March. Big spinnerbait, flat side, big swim bait, jerkbait, jig. It'll get you some good ones. So hope it helps out. We'll see y'all.